Hey, Forrest, it's Michelle Labus, and it is time for your water bill update. This has been something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I am so thankful for Jay. He spent like an hour and a half and even longer walking me through all the details of your water system and how it works, and I was able to get all this information uploaded to my website. I'm going to create another little video and I will walk you through where you can find it, and it has all your water rates on it. It tells you about your meters, your billing cycles, all the kind of things, some infrastructure projects you have coming up. And so, you know, you can find the information there. What I want to talk about is kind of where you guys have been, and what has kind of happened over the last 2 years, and where you're going to go in the future. So the hope is that every month you're going to have accurate readings, right? You're not going to have the estimates anymore. You're not going to have the trouble with the billing anymore. We're starting all fresh. Jay said that the readings this month went super smooth. They had hardly any trouble at all. They got out early on time, and so hopefully this will be the start, and this will just be the normal from here on out. Okay, so there are a couple big things that have happened over the last couple years to that you guys have had to really struggle through. And so one of them is G money, and kudos to Brenda. I think she has put in so much hard work in your finances and working through this G money issue or the software issue. And so I have been following along, and every once in a while I'd say, hey, how's it going? And it was never good. It was never a program that once you realize what the issue is, and then, okay, we're going to fix it, but then it doesn't get fixed. And then you finally go, look, it's not working. So I don't know if the contract ran out or if they just got rid of the G money and moved to a new system. But honestly, that happens. I mean, I know that it's happened in Kenton, where you get kind of tied into a contract with a software that was from a previous administration, and it doesn't work, and you need it to do better. And so sometimes you have to pay money to be like, I'm breaking the contract just to get to a new program. So, I mean, when you try as a community and you're trying to buy the cheapest thing possible, sometimes you get a bad product. So it sounds like MuniLink, which is your new software billing system, is working beautifully. It does everything that they need. You can go online and have an online account. You can see all your past usage. You can pay your bill online. It's got auto pay, so I mean, it's got an email feature so that they can send communications to you. It sounds like it's just going to do what you guys need, and if you can kind of fix that billing issue, that's a huge step. So, crossing your fingers that it continues to go well. All right, so on the other side, there's another big issue, and that's just the water meters themselves. I know you guys had a lot of really old meters. Some of the meters, the antennas were broken, things weren't working on it right, and so Jay and his crew have been working. I don't know how many meters they change out every year, but I know it's just been a constant thing of trying to be like, look, this meter just doesn't work. So you change it, you get a new one, right? And again, it's a learning curve. You think about Brenda and Jay, and even your council are very new, and sometimes it takes 2 years to learn what you're trying to accomplish, what you have's not working, and then to get something new. I mean, that all takes time, and it all takes kind of patience. So we're kind of at that 2-year mark, and we're seeing, I feel like from an outsider, you guys are seeing some real progress and some real promise. So kudos to council and everybody that is on the team there at Forest, that we continue to see small increments always in the right direction. So the issue with the water meters, once you get new ones, right, they still would go by. You drive by and it captures the signal from the meter, and it's not registering. And so you get back to the office after you've done all the things, and you find out that a whole bunch of data's not input. Well, then you have to go out and do all that manually. Well, it takes time, especially if you have a lot of these manual reads, which then means the bills get out late, which means differences of how much your bill is. And so being able to get around town and get this and put it into the system is just an absolute necessity. So working with these companies aren't always the easiest. So you have a number that goes with your meter, and then you have a number that goes with your radio, and you have to make sure that those match up because, you know, they're communicating with each other. All right, so Jay and the crew, they got the numbers to match up, and it still wasn't working. And so as you go month to month and you go, oh man, you know, it's not working. And well, you have to activate it. They had to have, you know, a process that you go in and say, okay, these are the numbers, now finish that process. 96%, Jay says, is done. So the majority of the water meters in the system are now 100% online. They're reading properly. You still have a certain number, I think it's under 50, like maybe 30, 40 meters that still have to be read manually. And so that takes time. After they go through and they get the readings, they go back and they upload that into the MuniLink software, and it does all the things. If you have errors, the next day somebody goes out, they check it, or if you have a leak or a high reading, they go, let's go check this out. And so you have, you know, a 2-day, maybe 3-day process to make sure that you get the bills out accurately and everything's checked, which is great. You have 3 weeks to pay your bill until the 10th, right? After that, it's a 15% penalty, which don't do that. That's expensive. So make sure you get your bills paid. Do auto pay, and then you don't even have to worry about it. So anyways, kudos to Jay for, you know, working on that and getting down to what actually was the problem with the meters and then getting that fixed. The new meters, so right now your meters and radios are kind of separate, and the new ones that he has coming in are Neptune meters. They are pretty nice. They have an analog number on them, so even if the battery goes out or something happens, it still has that meter reading on it. It has a float disc so that it finds even 1/10 of a gallon of leakage, right? So the other ones have like a wheel, and if it's not a strong enough flow to move the wheel, it doesn't register, but this is actually a float, and so it's going to be able to detect even like a running toilet. And so a lot of times they'll let you know, hey, your usage is up, you know, not sure why that is, and so you can go fix it. They run about $187, I think, and that's just paid out of the water general fund too, because that's kind of your maintenance. So those are the two kind of really big things, and I think for the most part you guys are going to be over that hurdle. The other thing that I have heard a lot about is, what is the 1,000-gallon, you know, why is everything 1,000 gallons? Which, you know, that's not how ours is done. I think ours is on, I don't know if it's 100 cubic feet or if it's, because that's about 750 gallons is 100 cubic feet. So it's a smaller amount. Well, what you guys have per your ordinance is 1,000-gallon switchover, right? So depending on your usage for a month, if this is 1,000 gallons and you go over that by 1 gallon, you're going to pay for that whole 1,000. But then the next month you're not going to pay that because you've already paid it before, and so you may see a dip this month because of how that falls, and then the next month you may see a little rise. But generally, you know, over the course of a year, it should all average out. So if you guys are getting accurate readings every month, which is what is kind of the goal, right, is they go out and they capture them every month, you should be able to see, oh, you know, you're using a pretty consistent amount. You should expect a small family, you know, maybe a family of 4 to use, let's see, 4,000 to 5,000 gallons, or 4,000 to 5,000 gallons is pretty typical, right? So of course, keep an eye on that. What I think was happening was because the meters weren't being read and that wasn't coming around correctly, that you guys were just paying, a lot of people were just paying the very minimum for a month. So you go, oh, it's my bill's $80 a month, not a big deal. And then all of a sudden they turn those radios on and they're getting accurate readings every month. Yeah, your bill's going to look really different. And so, not good. It's definitely nice if you're not getting charged for water. Not nice if at the end of the year you guys have paid for 1 million gallons of water to be treated, but you're, like the water plant has done 1 million gallons of water, but you guys are only paying for half of that. That doesn't bode well, right? So you have to you want to be paying for the water that you're processing in your water plant, or else your rates will skyrocket when you do a rate study. And so accuracy and consistency is absolutely the #1 goal of the Jay and his team. And so they are working very diligently to get you guys to that place. Okay, so other than that, those are your kind of big issues we're going to keep an eye on, right? That if this is kind of the new beginning, this month the billing process went really well. This is what we're going to start consistently seeing. If that's not the case, I'm sure you guys will post it on Facebook. Let me know, and we can investigate. You may always have a special circumstance at somebody's house. You have something wonky here or there, but collectively, Forest should be in a much better system. You guys have an interesting water plant, so maybe I can get over to get the details on, because I think you guys do a water softener as part of your water plant, and so that creates some unique challenges. And I still want to get over and see your lagoons before they dredge those out and investigate that. So let me know what other questions you guys have. I will be happy to get a video out, because if you have a question, I'm sure somebody else does. Other than that, I'm going to jump over and we're going to take you through the website so that you can see a breakdown of your water. And then eventually I'm going to get Ada and Kenton and McGuffey and all the other municipalities in the system, and then we're going to compare them, and we're going to see how does Forest compare to other people. Anyways, all right, well, thanks for sticking around, and let me know if anything goes awry, and we'll see what we can do. All right, talk to you later.